And I always say that when your head's gone, the Birmingham accent can sound French.
Wow.
You're a sicko.
And that's the thing about we give the best advice when we're not in the situation.
Hey, the amount of time you said shots at Birmingham, like you never used to live there.
Nah, see one thing I would say about Brummings.
You said to me the other day, I'm 25, life hasn't started yet. What do you mean?
Hey.
Okay, technically life has started for you because you're a family man.
Yeah.
So life has started for you. But what I say that is that you've got so much grace and space left to make so much errors and mistakes. Like wisdom hasn't even, I'm not saying you're not wise, but wisdom hasn't attacked you properly yet. You know, when you get to, like, there's people who are 50, 60 who I still look up to because of the wisdom they've got. Experience is what makes life everything for me, experiences. And there's so much experience you haven't had yet. And my main thing is that what you've got to realize now is that you need to maintain.
Okay.
Like every single bit of money you've got, unless it's, nothing's a guarantee, but unless you're pretty sure that this is going to bring you money back, don't squander it. Like it's, I know you have to learn from your own mistakes, you know, but I never had anybody telling me that when I was younger.
Well,
like,
you see where you're lucky? A lot of the things that you could have messed up on, you're not having to do it because we've already done that for you. When, like he said, when we were younger, we didn't have anyone ahead of us to kind of, you know what I mean, kind of set that standard. But now, you can call me anytime knowing that I'll say, yeah, don't do this, do that. You get what I'm saying? Go do this instead of doing that. That's a waste of your time. Whereas this will make more doing. You get what I'm saying?
As bad as it sounds, the main downfall is women. And women are not the problem. It's our lack of discipline for women that's the problem. Our main downfall is women. When I was growing up, almost everything I was doing was for women. Whether you're buying a flash car.
Popping bottles.
Yes, buying a flash car.
Flash car. Designer.
Designer clothes. Part of designer clothes and flash clothes sometimes is just flex on the man them.
Yeah.
In a very, it's a weird thing, but you're flexing on the man them to show them that yeah, man's got
I've got
peas.
more money than you.
I've got money. So part of it's flexing on the man them, but they're inadvertently you're getting women on the back of flexing. So like I remember when I started going gym properly, I thought I was going to prison, but I didn't. And then I got realizing that girls like muscles. Then I started hanging around with certain guys who had muscles, and I wanted to have bigger muscles than them, so that I look like I'm the biggest guy in the group. You know, and I always say that when we went to Cancun, that was funny because
I saw the pictures. Though,
yeah, there was me, you, P1, D-Way, and there was basically there was a whole heap of Jimmy and guys.
I was gonna repost it, and I thought to myself, you know when they put when people used to put the filter on the pictures before slamming it on Facebook and that. I looked at the picture and I said, look at these clowns. And everyone's topless in the club.
And that's for me is that what it was, and I think the younger generation growing up, like you lot have got it so hard because when we was younger, we could make £1,000 a month and still flex and move around.
Yeah.
You can't make £1,000 a month and do anything, but you could make £1,000 and still flex when we was younger. You can't do that now.
So what's the equivalent of £1,000
now,
today?
I'll probably say maybe about $2.5 grand.
2.5.
But like,
and you see like
you could get a room. I was renting a room in 2006, I think, for like maybe 3-4 bills. Remember, petrol was nothing. Insurance was nothing.
Insurance is nothing.
Remember, 21-year-olds are paying like 6-7 bills to insure their car. I was paying like 80 quid. Like everything it's not the same. And having a car is like that's like when you become a man. When you first get your first car, like that's your space.
My first car I was paying about 60 a month.
Yeah, it was cheap.
It was cheap. I had a Punto. Yeah, I was paying 60 a month. And when me and Manny was working in Carphone warehouse, our salary was 8 bills a month.
And you could still and you had money.
No. But hear the joke. Hear the joke. Remember, you was at Carphone.
Yeah.
What did 8 bills go to? Straight to tax.
To tax.
Yeah. Because man was making so much on commission that you never saw your salary. Your salary was just straight into your tax.
My point is that you still had money. You still felt you didn't feel broke. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like people now earning that feel broke. People are earning 2K,
and
2.5, and they feel
was
broke.
living at home as well on top of it. So imagine living at home and you're making minimum 2 a month. Good months, you might get 3.5 if you was hungry.
How many hours was you doing?
Huh?
How many hours was you doing?
Like I used to come on off days sometimes just to close a contract real quick. Because what would happen is I knew like I used to study football. So if I wasn't meant to be in at certain times of the day, like I'll just walk in quickly, know the football will be busy, and just go home. Yeah. That's greed. That's greed. But it is what it is. But yeah, that's why even the other day when I was uploading all the pictures from that era, all the Ralph Lauren tops, all the time, brand new Ralph. spending on designer all the time, crazy. But yeah, it goes back to what Gabe was saying. He was basically trying to outstunt other man.
Mm.
Yeah, it's hard to back to your question about independent. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says in the dictionary, free from outside control, not subject to another's authority, or not depending on another for livelihood or subsistence.
Okay.
Not depending on another for livelihood or subsistence. How do you pronounce it? Subsistence?
Subsistence.
Subsistence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which means you're not if I'm relying on people to come in
Yeah.
to buy drinks, to book a private hire space,
Yeah.
to use me for consultancy.
Yeah.
I'm not independent. I'm
But-
dependent on them giving me money.
But you can pivot.
I'm still dependent.
I think yeah, but yeah, you are dependent. You are in the way you're explaining it in this very closed way. You are dependent. You are dependent.
It's not very closed.
Everyone is dependent.
No. It says here, dependent on another for livelihood.
Yeah.
Well, how did you pronounce that word?
Subsistence.
Subsistence. Like, if you're dependent on that. So, as I said, if someone
Yeah.
gave me $4 million today,
Yeah.
I know that I can live off that for the next 40 years.
Yeah.
So, I can say I'm independent.
Okay. Cool.
Because I don't need no one's money.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Did
But
you-
I still think that the way you're framing your independence to then say you're not independent
Yeah.
is strange because
I'm an
if-
entrepreneur, yes. I'm self-employed.
You're entrepreneur,
yes.
you're self-employed,
I'm not
yes,
independent.
but you can pivot into something else. If
Doesn't matter.
one thing fails, you can pivot, and now
It doesn't matter. Same way you can leave
I
a
know
job
what you're saying.
and go and get
I
another
know,
job.
I know what you're saying,
I'm
but not everyone can do that, and that's why I think they're dependent. Because some people can't be self-employed. Some people don't have skill, or they don't want to have skills. They're dependent
But
because
why do we believe that if someone's self-employed that they're far apart from someone who's employed?
how so?
There's no. I don't see the main difference.
There's
Okay,
a,
I see what it is, yeah?
there's a skill gap.
No. I'm talking about the context, the concept or the context of someone who's making money, being employed,
Yeah.
or someone who's making money being self-employed. So let's just use an example of.
Okay.
I can just use a simple example of a restaurant.
Yeah.
You've got a restaurant manager who I'm paying him his salary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We are both getting paid from who?
The consumer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as I might transfer the money to him, and the customer's going to give it to him directly, we're both being paid by the consumer, by the customer.
Yeah.
There's no difference between the two of us. I just own the business.
But I do think there's.
I'm still relying on. We're both relying on. That's why I say to my staff, like, you know what? These people pay us. You know,
yeah.
I look after them. They pay both of us.
But then the difference is between
Well,
the self-employed and the employed. One second.
Yeah.
Between the self-employed and the employed is if you're employed and you let's even say you're a bartender versus a mobile bartender.
Okay.
One's employed, one's self-employed, right?
Okay.
So the bartender that's employed, if he gets fired, for example,
Yeah.
he has to rely on another bar manager to hire him.
Okay.
Whereas the mobile bartender can say, "There's no work in London. I'm going to Sheffield."
And he can decide to go and move to Sheffield as well.
But then you're still relying on the mercy of first the bar manager and then the consumer.
and
So
if
I think
business-
there's more hoops to jump
And if
through.
business slows down in London, I decide there's a gap in Sheffield. I've got I get your idea.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I get your idea, but the reality is that I still need. I'm still relying on someone for my livelihood or subsistence.
I feel like there's a-
How do you pronounce the word?
I think it's subsistence.
Subsistence.
I think it's
Let
subsistence.
me
yeah.
actually play it and see how it's pronounced. Hold on.
Crazy thing, I said that to a staff member the other day about the importance of customer service and saying, yeah, if your facial expression looks like you're upset at work, you're
subsistence.
You wasn't right,
No, I said subsistence. You said something else.
bro.
No,
Oh no, we'll do VAR. We'll do VAR. Subsistence.
But yeah, I said it to the staff member. I said, if your face looks like you're upset at work, you're putting a bad energy out there, then I'll get a bad Google review. Then I get bad Google review. That looks bad out there. Then that person might have had 2-3 friends who went to book the venue. You're asking me for more hours. I might put someone else instead. You know what I mean? Someone else who's more lively, who's more, you know what I mean, cheerful. That person's gonna get the hours. And now I've lost 3 bookings because of you. You get what I'm saying? Whereas those 3 bookings could have been because of you, and you could have had the more hours you wanted. You get what I'm saying? So for me, there's some people that have been to the business that have been lovely as hell, like great, fantastic people. But there's been a few bad seeds. But regardless of both, I still treat both with utmost respect, because you can't beat me. That's one. And regardless, if good or bad, you had a good or bad experience, you're always going to have the same comment about me personally. You're always going to be like, oh, you know what, my man was very polite, regardless of, even if you didn't have the experience you wanted. So you can't have nothing to say about me. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I get your idea of independent, but trust me, same way he's dependent on staff. He can't do it all by himself.
I understand what you're
Dependent
saying.
on customers booking. He can't do it by himself.
I do get what you're saying.
Like it's I think people have this idea when you're a boss, you know. And I always say that. I remember when one lady said to me, "Oh gosh, she can't wait to leave her job to be the boss." I said, "You're gonna come across the real boss, your customers. Like you're now a direct channel and line to abuse from your customers. Now.
Yeah.
Before you could hide under the I work for Tesco's. Now it's you directly that come into abuse."
Some of the things you said prior is a contradiction of what you're saying now, though. So, like, you said, no, because of the knowledge you have, you'll never be poor. Is that not a freedom?
Poor mentally.
Yeah.
And no matter where you put me,
Yeah.
because of just how I am,
Yeah.
there's no way you're going to put me that I'm not going to make it.
There you go. So, is that not? I know what you're saying in terms of like when you have a business, you're essentially a slave to the business, the staff, the consumer. You serve them more than they serve you. I get that. But then with you as an individual, with the skills you have, the knowledge you have, no matter where you can be placed on this earth, you will be successful in some capacity.
That's just because of me.
Yeah. So is that not in a way the independence and the freedom that I'm speaking about?
No, because if it means I've got to go and get a job. The same way when the pandemic hit, you know, I was my friends were able to put me in the right position to go and do van driving.
See, but I think that's
But
because
the average person may not have got a job in that space.
because they're not independent, because they're not capable of doing such. I think there's a skill gap,
No, I think part of it is because I'm likable, so people know
which
that
is a skill.
it could be. People know that Gabriel's good for it. I'm likable, and people know that I'm not going to shame them. And I said the other day, there's one thing I think people need to bring back, and it's not Jesus, it's shame. That's what we need.
Wait, why?
People lack shame.
Why?
The kind of things that people get up to and do, people don't have shame.
Can you give some examples, please?
Okay, can I give an example of shame? The kind of things that people post on social media, the kind of things that people do. I'll tell you what I find interesting. This is completely separate. The other day we saw a lady who was disgruntled. She decided to post a gentleman that she was having naked exercise with for a while online. You know, he was cheating. She lent him some money because his car was clamped, and then he couldn't afford to pay it back. You know, and then she decided that she wants to put it all over Instagram because she wants her payment. And he eventually paid her. Okay, but see, for me, the moment you want to embarrass me and shame me online, that's your payment. I would never have paid, because the moment you go online, that's your payment now. But once again, people don't have shame. Maybe the shame for him is that maybe he shouldn't have borrowed money from her. The shame for her is maybe she shouldn't have gone online, but I guess she got her money back, so it worked. It's shame. The kind of things that, like, if you're having problems with the father of your child, for instance, should we know that online? Maybe not. Like, there's so many different things that people post online. You're like, why is that online? Same way, like, people have issues with their friends, and then they post it online. It's just like, you don't have shame. Well, like, I think the funniest thing for me is when people I think they need to do like a psychological assessment on this. When somebody sets a camera up and then cries on the camera and then edits and uploads it. Because I see I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Aligo Omega? How does it? What's it? Alima Omega.
Olima Omega.
Like, I see him do the skits on it, and when he actually reenacts it, and you actually sit there and think. So somebody actually has to position the camera, cry in the camera, watch the cry back.
Then press. Wait. Then press stop on the camera. Then edit it.
So then you're not watching yourself crying on camera.
People got time.
I just think it's shame people need to bring back.
It's
Not
attention,
Jesus.
though.
It's just shame.
Yeah.
People don't have shame. And I think that's a real thing. Like, once people bring shame back, even the kind of things that people do for clout online, even just like some of the things people do, you're like, do you not have shame? You know, and I think that's the issue. Is just remember a lot of the things people do. I think clout chasing is the part where I think we need to bring shame back, because the kind of things people do for clout.
But it's so lucrative, though.
But that's because no one has shame anymore. Because some of the things that people do, I think it's embarrassing. But it's only embarrassing to the point it doesn't make you money.
When it starts making money, it's
people are like, okay, it makes sense now.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it, is that, like, it's the shame. People want money. And I think social media has created another lane for people to have an income from a lack of shame, maybe.
You know what's funny as well? How you mentioned Olima. When you first started the skits, people were saying, and you're ashamed of what you're doing. When you first started the comedy skits. Because some of his jokes, it might look like, it's pushing barriers. But the moment
sometimes it's corny.
Yeah. The moment.
But when you start making money and getting brand deals, it's no longer corny. So then maybe I'm contradicting myself. Maybe we don't need to get rid of shame, but I think we do. But I think maybe I'm talking from a position of fake privilege, because I don't need to do that.
I think so. I do think you lot are a little bit out of touch, a little bit. I don't think it's from your age group. I think it's from.
Maybe I don't need to do TikTok dances to get.
You don't.
clout.
You don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
maybe that someone else does.
Yeah.
But maybe maybe I shouldn't. So maybe I'm saying that because I'm not trying to make ends meet.
I think you've looked at your skills and you've kind of forged a life out of the skills that you have, right? I think some people have other skills. Some people are talented at being an AI Tamagotchi thing on TikTok and doing ice cream, and they
Okay,
get paid for it.
for instance, yes.
They get paid for it.
Yes, that thing, ice cream, bears,
Yeah.
pineapples, ice cream.
Yeah.
Now, as a 40-year-old man, I don't think I could do that. But then again, I'm not on my face. So if someone said, Gabe, look, I made £100 yesterday just doing ice cream and cones and saying pineapples, £100. Me too. Maybe I'll start doing custard creams, bourbon biscuits, Maryland cookies. Maybe I'll start doing it too. Jollof, suya, chicken jerk, goat curry,
shawarma.
Maybe I'll start doing it too. So maybe I always say that. Find me someone who claims they're not a liar, and you'll find a hypocrite also. And find me someone who says they're not a hypocrite, you'll find a liar also. Like, we all just chat, innit?
I know what you're
Like,
saying.
we all give the best advice when we're not in a situation.
Yeah.
I give great advice when I'm not in a situation.
That's the game.
Like, I'm in a situation right now where if I was outside of the situation, I'd probably give my boy advice to not do what he's doing. But I'm in the same situation doing the same thing.
You're doing it, yeah.
And I always say that when your head's gone, the Birmingham accent can sound French.
Wow.
You're a sicko.
And that's the thing, about we give the best advice when we're not in a situation.
Hey, the amount of time you sent shots at Birmingham, like you never used to live there.
Nah, see, one thing I always say about Brummie, the fact that they've got a hub, that black community in Brum is so strong. And I always say that the best decision I ever made was moving to Birmingham. Isolating myself in Birmingham. And the way those Brummies supported Sion up there, when I say they rooted for man,
Yeah.
like I can't fault Brummies in one way. Don't get me wrong, they were a bit slow to catch up to certain things. Like when I remember when I first opened, I said to them, someone booked a table of 20 people. I said, I need a pre-order. I need a £10 head deposit. She goes, we got to order our food before we get there? I was like, yeah, because we need to make sure we're prepared. So why are we paying? Like, we're going to come. Like, why have we got to pay £200? I said, because I can't hold 20 seats in case you don't turn up. So wait, so we got to order what we got to eat before we get there, and we got to pay you £200? Like, what is this? Like, what? I was like, Rotty, like, you lot don't know about deposits and pre-orders. That was like a big struggle for so long, getting people to pre-order their food. But what if I don't want to eat that on the day?
The accent's amazing.
I beg you, just order your food. Just please send the food in. But no, Brummies were good to me. I can't even complain. But yeah, when your head's gone, we always give the best advice. And I say this. Sometimes you have to live the experience. Sometimes you have to get bitten for you to understand what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I just hope that, you know, where things are so tight now, and I'm getting on now, and I'm saying to myself, I've got to make sure that I'm not 60, 70 in the pits. There's nothing worse than that. And as much as your children technically your children shouldn't be your pension, but if you've looked after them, they should look after you. Do you know what I mean? So technically you can see them as your pension, but when it's a point where your kids feel that you're relying on them completely, it changes the dynamic. Like if I'm doing something to you because I want to, it changes when I need to. It's like you're dependent on me. You know, I was talking the other day about, you know, giving money to friends and family, and I'm like, people often say you shouldn't do it, and I'm like, if you've got a surplus and someone needs help, why not? And a lot of things isn't monetary. You might have family and friends who are always there for you. Family and say you need to go to the airport, you might have that brother you can always ring and he picks you up and drops you, or you might have that friend who you can rely on. Let's say you need to move home, for instance. You've got that friend who you can ring and he comes there and he helps you move house. Or let's say, for instance, your battery's died in your car. You've got that friend that you can ring who will come and jump start your car. Do you know what I mean? We always look at things monetary, not knowing that there are friends who are just there for you. You know, and that's my main thing, is that, you know, obviously create a levy and a boundary when you're lending people money. I always say that when you lend money, best thing in your head is to say that you're giving it. Don't tell them that, but write the money off. And I think when it comes to someone lending you money, I don't think it's the lack of not giving you the money, it's the lack of not updating. So for instance, if I've lent you money and you said you're going to give it to me on Thursday, I don't have to ring you on Thursday to say, oh, where's the money? You should have communicated on Tuesday or Wednesday, like, gee, it's still a bit tight, just bear with me. I can't kill you for the money. It's the lack of communication, and then you ring that person Thursday, they don't call you back till Saturday, and they're telling you, basically, like, what it was that my dog I had to take it to the vet, and then my dog got hungry and swallowed the SIM card of my phone. So therefore I had to take the dog to the vet again to get the SIM card out of the dog's body. And then when they gave me my SIM card, it was damaged. So I had to call O2. And when I called O2, I realized I want to go into EE. So I was waiting for my pack number to change codes to that. Then instead of them giving me an iPhone, I then got an Android phone. I'm not used to using Android phones because only idiots have Androids. So therefore, when I was using the Android, because I'm an idiot, I couldn't operate the Android. So that's why it took me 3 weeks to get back to you.
So if someone owes you money, how do you get it back?
You don't.
You said
I
that.
said there's one guy that owes me Chiz money now.
You said that.
There's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do.
What are you going to beat them up and go jail?
Beat him, go jail. It's not worth my time.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah.
How'd you get back though? No, really, no, that's easy.
They'll throw me in Wandsworth and fill out the space. The guy owes grands.
Nothing you can do. You just write it off.
No, but how'd you get back though? Because you've given them money and
You don't get
it's
back.
your,
You don't get back.
but it's your money though.
It's gone.
Okay, there's two ways you
Take it
get.
out.
There's three ways you get money back from people. Typically 2 ways.
Yeah.
It's either violence,
Yeah.
okay, or defamation of character. So
Okay.
if you're gonna ruin someone's reputation, they
Shame.
might pay you back. No,
Why can't you shame
But he
him?
hasn't got anything. There's no shame to him.
There's no shame to
Oh.
him. There's no
Okay.
shame him.
Okay, if I owe you £5 yeah?
Shame is only for people that have got something to lose.
Exactly.
He's got nothing to lose.
If I owe you £5, you can shame me. You go online and say, Gabriel, this guy who talks all this rubbish.
Yeah,
on
I
podcast."
can cost you more than £5 grand.
Could,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It cost me to pay back that money before
Yeah.
it goes online
Yeah,
because of who I claim to be.
yeah.
Now, a random person, okay, I say his name is Jordan.
Hmm.
Okay, who's he? Okay. No one cares if in 2 days it's gone. No one cares. Whereas if it's me now and one of the blog pages catches it,
Yeah. That's more than £5 grand.
it benefits me to pay you back your money.
Yeah.
That's why you should only do business with people that have got as much to lose as you.
Okay. So what's the third way? You got violence, shame.
And what was the other way? Going to court.
Why you go to court?
Because by the time I do a CCJ and do it, I just ain't got I ain't got the time for all of that. Man.
Okay.
I ain't got the time for all of that.
Surely you can, if it's the same guy who owes you both. Nah?
I'll tell you what I'd rather do. I'd rather bump him and just slap him.
Yeah.
Just make sure there's no camera. Just slap him. Just
Yeah.
continuously just slap him. Like not too hard. I'm not slapping so he's got an injury. Just come here. Just come here. Just see that thing. It's not hard enough where so it shows that I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just taking the piss. I just come here.
Alright, so what if he said I ain't got the money, but can I work off the debt in one of your?
I tell you this now. I don't even care about the money anymore.
Oh, bro.
I don't care about the money anymore.
Okay.
Because it's not life changing. It's not like if it was like 250 grand I gave him, then
Yeah.
I'm sleeping in his house. Like, he's just gonna wake up, see me in his bed.
Well, man knows his mum's house.
I know where you live.
Yeah, I know his mum's house.
Why do you know his mum's house?
Huh?
Why do you know his
It's
mum's
just long.
It's long. But I know his mum's house. Yeah.
But yeah, that's just the thing about it. You just
You
have
lot
to-
make me laugh, you know. You lot are like palatable roadmen. Like you lot are like palatable. Like you're.
You see me,
Like,
me at 39.
It's so
and me
funny.
Me at 39 and me at 19 are two different characters.
Of course.
At 19 I would have crashed out.
But do you know with you?
I would
Yeah.
have crashed out.
When
badly.
you
Just out of principle.
yeah, but
But
when
me
you
at 39 it's not worth my time.
when you tell your stories and stuff about like stuff like you've seen and stuff like that, yeah, it's like,
Mm.
you. Do you know because of how you got very good PR, man.
I'm chilled, bro.
You got very good PR, like and you as well.
I don't want to go to
You as
jail.
well. No, I know, but like
I don't think you understand.
I don't want to go to
It's-
jail.
it's interesting. No, but
it's
if
an age thing.
I know it's cool.
age thing.
But alright, listen. So when I first met you and stuff, bro, chilled. Like we had a great conversation and stuff, and I've got to know you and stuff. And it's like the person that,
I'm still chilled.
of course, you're still chilled, of course, 100%. But you would never know unless you told me. You would never know that there was the other side to Chiz.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's where I'm trying to always keep.
I know,
Caged
but
up.
that's why it's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's the same with you as
Bro,
well.
like I said,
It's-
me
it's-
at 39 and me at 19, two different characters. Me at 19, I wouldn't even phone Gabriel. So like, I'd have been ballied off. Then
Go to jail, man.
switch to Gabriel.
You can't go to jail, man.